Most men believe respect is something you earn by explaining yourself clearly, by making sure you are understood, by filling every silence before it becomes uncomfortable. Psychology reveals something far more unsettling. The moment you feel the urge to justify who you are, your mind has already surrendered authority. Human perception does not reward clarity the way we think it does. It rewards certainty, and certainty is felt long before it is explained. When you speak too quickly, too thoroughly, too eagerly, the brain of the listener does not hear confidence. It hears need. Silence, on the other hand, creates a psychological vacuum, and the human mind cannot tolerate empty space. It rushes to fill it. That is where perception is formed. The brain is constantly asking one silent question about everyone it encounters. Does this person need approval, or do they assume it? Silence signals assumption. It tells the subconscious, this person is not seeking permission to exist in this moment. That signal carries more weight than any explanation ever could. This is why people become uneasy around those who don't rush to speak. Not because silence is intimidating, but because it removes familiar social anchors. When there is no explanation, no emotional reaction, no verbal reassurance, the brain loses its reference point. And when reference points disappear, projection begins. Projection is the most powerful psychological effect of silence. When you do not define yourself, others define you instead. They project competence, authority, mystery, or threat based on their own insecurities. A confident person sees you as composed. An insecure person sees you as judgment. Silence does not communicate one message. It reflects the observer back to themselves. This is why it feels so powerful. Not because you are doing something, but because you are allowing something to happen inside others without interfering. Explaining yourself interrupts this process. The moment you explain, you collapse the projection. You turn a symbol into a detail, and details are easy to challenge. The human brain respects what it cannot immediately categorize. Silence delays categorization. It keeps you mentally unresolved, and unresolved things carry weight. This is why people listen more closely when you finally speak. Not because your words changed, but because the silence raised their value. There is also a deeper neurological layer at work. The brain associates slow responses with confidence and fast responses with emotional reactivity. When you pause, when you choose not to fill space, your nervous system appears regulated. Regulation signals control. Control signals safety. And safety is what people instinctively follow. This is why leaders often speak less than everyone else in the room. Not as a strategy, but as a byproduct of certainty. They are not searching for approval in real time. Most men fear silence because it feels like loss of control. In reality, it is the absence of performance. When you stop explaining, you stop negotiating your value. You stop adjusting yourself to be accepted. And the brain of the observer senses that immediately. They may not like it. They may feel challenged by it, but they will respect it. Because respect is not an emotional reaction. It is a cognitive recognition of stability. This is also why silence feels threatening to insecure people. It gives them nothing to work with, no weakness to exploit, no emotion to manipulate, no story to twist. Silence does not attack, but it cannot be controlled. And what cannot be controlled must be watched. Attention follows uncertainty. That is the paradox most men never realize. When you finally speak after silence, your words land differently. They are not competing for attention. They already have it. The brain has been waiting. Listening becomes automatic. Influence increases not because of volume, but because of contrast. Silence sharpens impact. It frames speech as intentional rather than reactive. The mistake most men make is thinking silence is passive. Psychologically, it is not. It is a boundary, a refusal to over-participate in the need to be understood. And the moment you stop needing to be understood by everyone, you gain control over how you are perceived by anyone. The truth is uncomfortable but simple. People don't respect those who explain themselves well. They respect those who don't feel the need to. And once you understand that, silence stops feeling awkward. It starts feeling deliberate. The real shift happens when you realize this was never about being quiet. It was about removing the unconscious signal of seeking validation. Because the moment you stop explaining, the world leans in. And when the world leans in, you decide when to speak. And here is the part most men are not ready to hear. Silence does not make you powerful. It reveals whether you already are.